Yani, hii si poa. Kuchezea akili ya watu hivyo, si poa. Folks, and the dance continues. Twist inaendelea. Twist, twist, twist. I now believe somebody has filed somewhere. Yeah, and they're all marked diversionary tactics. So if something happens and they want to divert the attention of Kenyans, they pluck out a certain file. But recently it seems kimeumana kuumana. Yeah, because certain diversionary tactics have been tried and they've failed. And therefore they have unleashed the one which always works without fail. It's called regional balancing. Kuna Wakikuyu wangapi kwa civil service? You put the number there. Kuna Wakalenjin wangapi? Je, Waluya? Wajaluo? And then they follow it up with a tweet by a well-known political analyst. Not everybody will agree that they are political analysts. Where they start talking about President Uhuru Kenyatta bringing to the table 6 million Kikuyu votes. Ruto bringing I don't know how many million Kalenjin votes, etc., etc. Whip up people's emotions. That's the idea. So that they stop talking about the COVID haste. If we do nothing else on today's show, let us talk the truth about this thing of regional balancing. And let us start with a brief history. Shortly after independence, some very clever Kenyans, smart people, sat down at a table and they asked themselves a very simple question. How do we keep tribes from ganging up against the government of Mzee Jomo Kenyatta? And they decided to come up with the closest thing to the wisdom of King Solomon in the Bible. Now, for those who are not aware, King Solomon was able to ensure peace by doing something very simple. Marrying from the tribes of all his enemies. So if you marry from your enemy, they'll think twice before attacking you. Because they're going to attack one of their own. They might spill the blood of their nephew or their niece. And so I can imagine, this is not in the Bible, but I can imagine if Solomon had a problem with a certain enemy, he would meet up with that enemy. And the official wife he would come with for that meeting was a wife married from that tribe. Maybe even have the kids running around. The kids who are the very blood of that person or those people who want to attack Solomon's country. So the way they improvised in Kenya is that you have every tribe or major tribes in the cabinet. If people at the coast are getting restless, they open their radios or their televisions in those days, and they see Ronald Ngala from the coast, a member of the cabinet, wanatuliza boli, and so on and so forth. And then with the hindsight of experience, somebody realized it doesn't matter. As long as you have full control of something called provincial administration, if there's any trouble, you use force. You send the GSU. We used to call it Fanya Fujo Wone in those days. And they quell the rebellion from whatever tribe it is, from whatever part of the country it is. And so, suddenly, it became a requirement that you understand the Kikuyu language if you're going to be a member of cabinet. Because about 90% of the cabinet belonged to the House of Mumbi, or had members who belonged to the House of Mumbi. And when the second president of Kenya took over, President Daniel Toroitich arap Moi, he revived these regional manenos. But what Kenyans have not yet realized is that it is all rubbish. Because there are some certain, for many reasons, but one of the biggest is that because there are certain cabinet portfolios that are more important than others. Finance, for instance, that's a very powerful docket. health, education. Yeah. To cut a long story short, not all animals are equal. Now, I know not everybody will agree with me. Yeah. But you also know me. I say it as it is, whether or not you agree with me. In fact, as older members of this channel will know, I encourage people to disagree with me. Yeah, of course, with points, not insults. Yeah, with reasoning. Yeah, not abusive language. That is what debate is all about. And that is what grown-ups do. Yeah. Although in Kenya, the culture is that we're more used to doing what kindergarten children do in the playground. Yeah, when they disagree. They insult each other, they fight, etc., etc. In my view, regional balancing doesn't make sense. Just get the best person available for the job, period. And make sure it is the best person we have in the country available for that job. Don't worry what tribe they are. Regional balancing doesn't make sense. Can you imagine going to athletics and saying, this thing is tribalistic. There are too many Kalenjins in athletics. They're earning a lot of money. We should give a chance to other tribes. And then you go to Gor Mahia Football Club. A very famous, talented football club I admire. And indeed many admire across the region. And then you say, there are too many Luos in this team. Let's balance it out. Let's get 2 Kikuyus, 2 Elwaks, 2 people from the coast, etc., etc. Does that make sense to you? And so, if it doesn't make sense to you, why does it make sense to you? To ensure that in the civil service, we have balancing, let me just put it very crudely, balancing of tribes. Why does that make sense to you? Actually, there's only one place where regional balancing makes sense to me, and that is the presidency. And that is because of our historical past, the recent past, and because we are still a young nation in terms of cohesion. And still, somebody can argue against that, and I would agree with them. Just get the best person for the job and make sure that the interview process is fair, period. If you find that in scientific ministries, the vast majority of employees in the civil service are from the Luo community, that's okay. Just do some investigations and find out that every one of them got their job based on merit and merit alone. End of story. If you find most employees of the finance docket are from the House of Mumbi, do the same. Tax department, financial manenos, accountants, etc., etc. Just make sure everybody got their job on merit and merit alone, and then leave it alone. Don't try to enforce 60s thinking. Mtu wetu ako kwa cabinet, kwa hivyo mambo ni sawa. Animal waste. Excuse my French. Actually, I meant male cow waste. In my view, and I know many of you again will not agree, there are some tribes in Kenya that are now being discriminated against. They are being told, you're not allowed to be good at what you do. And that is why members of a certain tribe should be allowed to change their names and use names that don't give you a clue where they come from. Like the CEO, or rather the immediate former CEO of KEMSA, Munjari. I like that. I consider myself very fortunate. Because I know one thing for sure. Of all the weaknesses I have, I will never be a tribalist. And it has a lot to do with my upbringing. My mother hailed from the Bokusu tribe, Luhya. My dad was a Kamba. And because he was a cop, I grew up all over the country. Yeah, because if you've been the son of a cop, you know. You come home from school and you hear, tomorrow you're going to be in Turkana. Officer, tomorrow report at your new station in Kisumu. And that time you're based in Mombasa. And then I went and got married to a Kikuyu. Yeah, and therefore my son has Kikuyu blood flowing through him. And then some people are very tricky. Yeah, they ask you your tribe in a clever way. Yeah, so somebody comes up and asks me, Chris, where were you born? My answer, Kisumu. So they get very confused. Are you a Luo? No, I'm not. I have a weakness for Luos, but I am not a Luo. Actually, don't get me wrong. I really admire them. Brilliant people. I mean, you go to a hospital somewhere deep in the US and you ask for the world expert in a certain field, in medical. And then you're told we have a specialist, world-renowned. Wait here. And then out comes Dr. Odhiambo, an American. There is a place in Lowland, which breeds professors and professors only. And brilliant professors. Not professors who are professors by corruption. Brilliant minds. I should go there sometime, drink the water, eat the food, see if it rubs off. Bottom line, it doesn't matter what tribe you are. So what? If you're good at what you do, and you apply for a job, and you're the best on the list, get the job. So what if you're a Kikuyu? So what if you're a Luo? It doesn't matter. I'm very proud that half of me belongs to the least tribalistic tribe in Kenya. And that's the Luhya. No other tribe in Kenya has voted for every kind of tribe, supported every kind of tribe. There's no tribalism in Luhya land. And if we want to build a better Kenya, we'd better stop this nonsense like yesterday. I'm really not interested to know how many Kikuyus are in the civil service. What I'm interested in is whether they got their jobs on merit. If they didn't, fire them and do interviews. Indeed, I believe interviews should be done at Nyayo Stadium. And then publish the results of that interview in the media. The other option is to escalate this regional balancing manenos. For instance, chicken. Kuku is dominated by Luhyas. We need regional balancing there. Kikuyus are finishing the githeri in the country. Maize and beans. Let's have regional balancing. Let us have more githeri in Nyanza and in Mombasa and in other parts of the country. Let's balance this thing. We can't have one tribe finishing all our maize and beans resources. It's not fair. Let's balance it. And fish. Did I say fish? And fish is a complete shame. Dominated by the Luo. That's unfair. And fish is so nutritious. Spread out fish to Ukambani. Guess what? Many of them won't eat it. I know many Kambas who throw up when you give them fish. Anyway, let's force it down people's throats. Because we have to balance these things. We have to balance the resources amongst the tribes. Ridiculous. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.